Walked into the shop today and kind of just looked at my fence straddling push stick, and I got a little bit of inspiration. So what I'm going to do here, I got this piece of cherry that I've flattened and squared up on one side here, and I'm going to use this for a new body that I want to incorporate some extrusion in here to hold vertical pieces or angled pieces. Wider than my current side here, which is good. I'm gonna rip off a piece, so I'm gonna lose an eighth that way. I'm gonna embed these two T-nuts in there to match this spacing. I want to locate these T-nuts I'm gonna locate them 6 inches apart. I just measured these. And whenever I've done work like this, I always try to set up my centers so that they're easily repeatable in case I need to replace a part or for like this project, make a new accessory, I guess. So I'm going to just make a mark here about right here. Actually, I have to do this first. This is the piece I ripped off. So I'm going to make my mark about right here. And then I know the next one is going to be about 6 inches this way. So the critical thing is to just find my starting point. I'll use my 3-to-1 blocks to locate the next hole. So these are going to be embedded. I'll put them in this way, even though that is the wrong way. You know, generally when you're pulling against something, you want to pull against the piece of wood this way, but because I'm gluing this over the top, I can get away with it. T-nuts are installed. This goes this way, and I look down the gun barrel. That's a nice match. So some glue, some clamps, and what I'll do is put a couple of bolts in there to keep that from sliding around. Alright, despite my best efforts here, I've got a little bit of movement. And it appears as though it went this way just a hair. So I'll smooth that out, but the bolt holes are lined up really well. So I'm happy about that. All right, I'm gonna hit this with my plane. Squared up both ends, and then I had this thought that I better make sure these match up before I get too carried away with this thing. Well, they should without Much of a problem here. Now the one thing I am aware of is that this new block or new side that I've made is a little thicker than this one. Probably a good 1/16 of an inch. So it's going to stick out a little bit to the outside and to the inside, but I can change this adjustment here to compensate for that. Okay, that's going to work. And I don't really mind that length, to be honest with you. Let me grab my extrusion here. I think I'll cut this here and use this piece. Yeah. Already got my filler strip from a piece of scrap in my bin over there. And this is 16 millimeter. I milled it down to 16 millimeter. Well, 15.95 if you want to be 15.97. Anyway, close enough. So this is gonna go mount on the block this way, and then I'll rip my piece, my sacrificial piece, to go on the bottom there. So that's gonna be this is the waist. Okay, flushed up here and this way. Now this side hangs out just a little, you can't see it, but the opposite side hangs out just a little bit. I'm just going to mark my holes here so I can drill them. Okay, so I've got my 4 locations here. I will pre-drill just a pilot hole for my, they're number 8 by 3/4 I believe, or 8 by 1/2. Anyway, I'm going to pilot hole these, then we can mount that block. And one thing I had to be cognizant of was not to get these lined up with these bolt holes. I probably would have been okay because it's low enough, but just one of those things. Now incidentally, when I countersunk those inside, inside there, I just used the largest drill bit I could fit into that slot. And they're not, the screws stick up a bit proud, but it still allows for my clamp to slide through. I'll show you here in a minute. Alright, so you can see that my clamp will slide even though those bolts or those screw heads, hope you can see this down the gun barrel there, are sticking up just a little proud. right there. I'm just checking for flat here, and this looks good. This particular extrusion's got a I believe it's a 2-degree taper to the slots. So you got a high point here, here, and here. And when I look down this ruler, why I'm flat here, and I'm just touching those 3 points. So out here, right there, and nice and flush across that filler strip. So I'm going to put some glue on that and call it good. And then we'll mount it to the saw. Well, no, I'll trim this flush first, sorry. Okay, so you can see what I've got to trim off there. Already I'm starting to see lots of possibilities with this jig. Small pieces, which is what I had in mind when I first put this, or this idea came to me. You know, able to do small tenons. I could clamp it this way if I needed to notch it. The clamp, I can use 2 clamps if it was a big piece. This stop could be an angled stop, so if you can imagine that I wanted to cut a 45-degree tenon or a slot. Could do it this way as well. You know, virtually any angle that I could put the workpiece at and clamp it, I think I could do it. And like I said, I could use 1 or 2 clamps here. The thing about using the stop is that this T-nut is in one of the slots, so depending upon the width of your piece, you may or may not be able to get to it. So like I said, I'm just, you know, if I use this as a stop, I could also build one that goes all the way down to the bottom to eliminate tear out. But any number of ways of holding small pieces that you need to get close to the blade. Now I am limited here. If I do go higher than this, you know, if this sacrificial piece, if this was a problem, and I didn't want to get into this aluminum, then my max height, like I said, is about 1.5 inches. So, but I mean, it works. It's you know, I can take all that slop out. There's just very little there now. Operates smoothly, holds the work, and your hands are well away from the blade. You know, even if I was doing like a small piece like this, you know, there'd be no way you'd want to run that over to put a tenon on something like that without some kind of a fixture to hold it. And I can get away with it on this piece, you know, up to that height. Let me see where I am here anyway. Yeah, I can go up even up to about here probably. And my clamp is going to clear. That clears the blade. So that's going to be that'll be a nice addition to this handle setup. And then if I want my push stick back, all I need to do is change out the body. And I'm back to having my push stick. So, there you go. Thanks for watching.